Hello, welcome to the Mediocre Takes podcast, the podcast where we share our mediocre takes on the shows and movies we watch. I'm Marco, and here's my co-host Mel. How are you doing, Mel?
Isn't that a question to ask me?
Yes, it is.
I feel icky.
Why?
Because I'm sicky.
Oh yeah, good point. Mel's sick. Everyone wish them well.
Yeah, and if I sound sick for the following few episodes, ignore that.
Yeah, don't comment about it, or else we will block you. Don't add us.
We can't afford to block anyone.
Good point. Anyways, you guys, today we're talking about the Looney Tunes show. This is another first impressions episode. I feel like we've been doing this more often than the Is It Queers episodes. We really should get on the Is It Queer episodes. Anyways, the first impression episodes are basically like where we do our first impressions on the first 3 episodes of a show. It's around 3 to 6 episodes, depending on how long the episodes are. But the Looney Tunes show, we're only doing 3 episodes. So yeah. Anyways, let's just get started.
Episode 1. Bugs and Daffy compete in a best friend game show, but due to Daffy's sheer incompetence, they lose. After a pep talk from Speedy, he goes try hard mode. But Bugs realizes he prefers it when Daffy doesn't know him.
I really love how Daffy Duck doesn't know anything and is completely useless. He would be terrible to be around, but his moments bring decent comedy to the show. The 2 best friends Daffy and Bugs Bunny are against when they're in the show are so fucking annoying. Like, they piss me off, and I know that's the point, so the writers were good for that. The song about grilled cheese caught me off guard and made me uncomfortable. That man likes grilled cheese way too much, and I didn't like the song either, so no thank you. I love how much of a tryhard Daffy becomes in order to make up with Bugs. And I also love the ending where Daffy realizes the only real thing he knows about Bugs is his credit card number, and Bugs is like, shut the fuck up.
5 minutes into the show and I already fell in love with it. I actually loved the personality changes. I think Bugs being the serious and chill one, while Daffy is the incompetent, unserious doofus, was refreshing and unoffensive. And Daffy has to be my second favorite character so far, just because it feels like he's being a contrarian on purpose, even though we all know it's on accident. Okay, so you didn't like the Merry Melodies segment, but I thought it was so silly. Genuinely, I did not expect that to happen, but I didn't hate them. And I also feel like it would fit so well on cable television, which is where this originally aired. I think it's a bit jarring when you're watching it on demand, but on television, that would fit in very well, I think.
Okay. So I wrote this in the next episode, but I guess I'll say it here. In episode 2, at the halfway point, there was another song, and that's when I realized that there's going to be a song in every episode. And I just really wasn't a fan of it, you know? That time the song was about a Martian, and I just don't get it. I don't think they're that funny or that good in general. They're just not my personal cup of tea, so I really didn't enjoy it. And I also do agree with you that I feel like this would work well if it was in a TV show format. I can definitely see why the creators chose to do this, but I just didn't like it personally.
In defense of Daffy being a bad friend, I also feel like I knew little to nothing about most of my friends growing up, though I think for me it was definitely a memory thing and not a I don't care about you thing. Episode 2. After meeting at a country club, Bugs goes on a date with Lola. Realizing she's absolutely unhinged, he tries to break things off but accidentally proposes. At the wedding though, Lola calls it off because she's fallen in love with another.
I love how at the end of the first half of this episode, Bugs asks the guy who's working out to drop a dumbbell on him again because he accidentally dropped a dumbbell on him. I just love how he said, yeah, do it again, because that shit hurt when I was trying to break up with Lola. I kind of hate Lola, which is surprising because at first I thought I would really like her. She talks way too much and I found her annoying. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about her, you know?
That's crazy. She's literally my favorite character.
Why? How?
In this whole show. Well, okay, the one thing I knew about this show going in was that Lola is a girl boss. And she is. She is straight up a girl boss. She's like Daffy if Daffy was more unhinged and romantic. And I really like that.
I don't know. The moment she started crying when Bugs started trying to break up with her, I just didn't want to be around her, you know?
Yeah, she's definitely someone you don't want to be around, but watching her exist is hilarious.
I get that. I was wondering who would end up being the real member that Daffy stole the country club number from, and I did not expect it to be Lola's dad, but I really like that reveal.
Lola calling out that bodybuilder after he saved Bugs was so out of pocket. It made me love her so much more. I think that was the moment where I was like, oh my gosh, okay, yeah, she's my favorite. We also got cross-dressing Bugs in this, which is always a treat. Episode 3. After littering on federal land, Daffy pleads his case in court instead of paying the fine. Both Daffy and Bugs are held in contempt of court and sent to prison. After a jailbreak, the duck and bunny go on the lam for a while before finally being caught by the pigs. It's a farm! Minutes after being released, Daffy litters again.
I love how the park ranger literally mentions to the pig, and I'm not talking about the cop, the pig, that if he doesn't start wearing pants, then he'll be kicked out. Yet Bugs and Daffy aren't wearing anything at all. Daffy got in trouble for littering, and all I have to say is he had it coming. I was surprised when Bugs took being in jail well while Daffy was freaking out, because I was kind of expecting the roles to be reversed.
Yeah, I was also completely surprised by that. I completely expected Daffy to be the one to run his mouth, and then Bugs would have to be the one to de-escalate everything. And if they went with that, it would have been so funny if when Bugs finally got out, Lola was the one there to greet him, and then he begged to go back.
That'd be such a great scene. I really love the ending of this episode because the last line is another mention of the fact that the pig doesn't wear pants. Like, he's like, oh, in the compartment drawer, like, pick up those pants and like give them to me so that way I can put them on, so that way the pig doesn't actually arrest me.
I knew Bugs was kinda a square, but I really didn't think he'd be cool with going to jail and would actually want to go back after escaping. They did like 5 fan fictions in this episode. There was like forced proximity, bed sharing, and of course, enemies to lovers.
Your mind. Oh my god. Overall, I find this to be a pretty funny show. I will be continuing this eventually. I don't know when I'm going to continue this, but I did enjoy what I've seen so far. I remember I tried to watch this a while ago, but I just couldn't get into it. However, I don't know why I couldn't get into it. Maybe it was the fact that it was more episodic. I don't know. I'm weird like that. Yeah, I just found this to be a really funny show. There are a lot of great scenes. If I had to choose a favorite episode, it would definitely be the third one. I just really like how Bugs was like just going out for the throat when it came to the other prisoners. So yeah.
I am so sad I didn't watch this show when it first came out because I know for a fact I would have loved it. Honestly, I think the only reason I didn't watch it was because it was such a 180 from the original Looney Tunes that I watched as a child, and I really hate change. And so far, I don't hate any of the characters. We only saw a few of them, but I loved them, and that's a rarity for me. But honestly, this is a solid show, and I have continued to watch it. I think I watched the first 3 episodes, and then I finished writing my notes, and I was like, okay, next episode. I think I've watched like 9 so far. It's a good show.
Anyways, you guys, that's our thoughts on the Looney Tunes show. If you want to send us a voice message on Spotify for podcasters, there'll be a link in the description to do so below. Also, Instagram and Twitter at MidTakesPod, and a YouTube channel at the Mediocre Takes Podcast. We have some exclusive content on there, mostly our graphic novel reviews because we're doing a monthly comic club. So check that out. And that's everything. So goodbye.